Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a title bout, and it is for the Sparta Sports and Entertainment Women's Lightweight Kickboxing Championship. Introducing first, fighting out the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, please welcome Nikki Cruz.
All right, here we go for the MMA, the kickboxing title. Khortni Kamyron, we saw her up here last in Cheyenne in our Cheyenne 3 fight, and she boxed because she wanted to get back into the ring. Well, this time it'll be kickboxing for the title, and she's going up against Nikki Cruz, who had 5-0-1, 6 fights by the time you're 19-year-old.
Unbelievable. You know, Gino, and as you were mentioning, Gino Shvedov, martial arts changed his life, and martial arts changes people's lives. Khortni just discovered it in her 30s, and she was like, this is what I do now. I spent my whole life kind of wondering what's my thing, and I now have my thing. And it's a beautiful thing that I swear, everybody watching this, if you choose to pursue any amount of martial arts for a little fun or a little self-defense, it will have an impact on your life.
You'll find some peace in it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing about it. I mean, you love to see the fighters that have faced adversity, and sometimes facing that adversity in other parts of your life make you a better fighter once you recognize that and you're able to implement the lessons that you've learned.
That's right. Your life teaches you how to fight, and fighting teaches you how to live your life. It's all part of the same thing. That's the journey, the martial journey, where you're learning. You're learning about yourself. You think you're brave. Turns out you need to become even more courageous. You think you work hard. Turns out you need to work even harder. You have certain beliefs that change. You become a better person. And it's not, of course, martial arts is what we love, but it's not just that. Dedicating yourself to learning things, to improving things, to self-study, that's the journey. And in their case, it's fighting.
And a lot of that, too, when you talk about that, people go, geez, how can they get in and do that? Little do you know that that's where they find a little bit of peace.
And her opponent, fighting out of the Nutrition Company of Cheyenne blue corner, please welcome Khortni Kamyron.
And again, as you said, Khortni Kamyron, who found the sport and martial arts a little bit later in life.
Yeah, and you said peace. You go in and you find peace in there, and that is true. In the chaos, there is that comfort, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for serenity. If you're all wound up, you will not fight your best. Go jump up and down, have people screaming at you, get kicked in the head and try to do a Rubik's Cube or like a puzzle or something. It can't be done.
Right.
You have to do it, finding that comfort in it, and that's what they look to do. But yeah, this is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful night of fights.
Really, it's the ability to combine the mental aspect with what your physical tools are and to keep it at that level where you can execute what you want to do.
We talked about Khortni suddenly was like, oh my God, I want to do this. And Nikki, she's 19, she's already been fighting. But many of these other fighters, we think that all of these people were born this way. Many of these other fighters were regular people. If you asked them 5 years ago, they would never step in a cage on a pay-per-view where people watching all over the world. They would never do it. You learn, you change, you become more than you used to be, and one day you achieve something.
Absolutely, and when you look at this, even getting to a title fight, regardless of where you're at in your life, you've achieved something. Now you've got somebody else on the opposite side of the cage that wants what you want just as bad.
For sure. And throughout the night, we've seen this, and it's one of the beautiful things that you see with watching young fighters fight. You're at a stop on their journey. But for some of these, this will be the biggest night. We always thought, will this guy fight in Bellator one day? Is this guy pursuing the UFC? For some of them, this is their Super Bowl.
Not everybody makes it to that level.
And depending where you came from, fighting in a cage in front of your peers, in front of your friends, on pay-per-view, in a world title fight, this is your accomplishment. Right. And that's treating that with the respect that it deserves too. I mean, the dream doesn't have to be to win a Super Bowl. The dream can be to play football.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think to do what you enjoy to do, and because who knows who's going to be a professional fighter. It takes another step up for that. It takes a special athlete to get to that point.
Yeah, I spoke with Khortni, and she comes out of that foos box. Sambo is their root. We were talking about it earlier. Beautiful Russian martial art.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this bout is for the Sparta Sports and Entertainment Women's Lightweight Kickboxing Championship. Let's meet our fighters first. fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner from South Lake Tahoe, California, representing Escobar Training Grounds, Nikki Cruz. And her opponent, fighting out of the Nutrition Company of Cheyenne blue corner, from Denver, Colorado, representing Sambo One Training Center and Pound for Pound Fitness, the headhunter, Khortni Kamyron.
The headhunter.
Yeah, I like it. We were talking about it with Joe Sanderson, that idea of sort of the meek, quiet one. You look over at Nikki Cruz, like she wasn't sure if she should put her arms out.
Right.
You know? And I saw her come in here to shadow box, and she didn't want to do it, and her coach was like, no, go ahead. And this is her 7th fight. Like, the second she starts fighting, you'll be like, oh, right, this, and she will too. She'll be, I know how to do this. I like doing this. But all the attention around it, she doesn't seem to care for.
Right. And
It's cool.
you know what? That's okay if you get in and execute.
100%. You know? And it's a very cool thing. It's like she's not about the people looking at her. She's about the doing the damn thing.
Both fighters feeling each other out here after that last barn burner. We're itching to get going here.
At this distance, you know, and this is something that's said often when young Thai fighters and kickboxers are coming up. If you could win a fight with a jab and a low kick, that would show real mastery.
Right.
And right now, the way this fight is just gently taking place, the fighter who establishes those 2 primary weapons will start taking over.
Both fighters looking for their in so far and unable to capitalize on that or find out what they're going to go by.
Nikki Cruz is young Nikki. Her personality here is such that she wants you to come to her. And you see it in her mannerisms. You see it in the way she's fighting. She's like, I'll chill out here. When you come in, I'll punch you.
Right.
You know? And Khortni, probably from her experience fighting in the past, she hasn't experienced that yet. So it's very unfamiliar. It's like, wait a second, what are you doing over there?
Under a minute left in this opening round, and so far waiting for the action to kick in and take place, but both fighters looking for their opening.
In 5 2-minute rounds, I'm sure both were told by their coaches, hey, let's ease into this. And they are, but this round's up for grabs. Like,
yeah.
30 seconds left, land
right
2
now.
punches and a kick, and it's going to be your round.
Who's going to steal this round? You've got to do something to steal the round.
And, you know, Khortni is the one that it's sitting there offering to her. She's the one being indecisive.
It's almost like both fighters are counterpunchers and want the other one to make the move.
100%. That's exactly what they're used to. But Cruz, seems to be very in line with her. Where Khortni, it feels like, yep, has the choice to be able to engage more.
Well, JR, that's a tough round to score.
Sort of the definition of a feeling out round.
Yes.
Neither one able to really feel out much anything there because neither willing to engage. Honestly, I had that round as a draw. There was just so little that happened. Nobody landed anything of significance. Nobody pressured the action. So right now I have the fight even.
Khortni Kamyron, to me, looks like she may possess a little bit more power,
Yeah.
but really unable to kind of show that right now. And you see from Nikki Cruz, you know, young, kind of, you know, waiting to find that aggressiveness.
Yeah, and it just may not be a natural part of her personality, whereas Khortni, somebody, you know, and if it were you or I'd say, when you mentioned her ability to create power, I'd say old man strength. I don't want to say that, but I would say grown woman strength.
Right.
You know, Khortni Kamyron is the one who's got the physicality to do the damage. Whereas Cruz wants to float around out here and out-technical you. So no question, Khortni Kamyron's corner is like, I want you to throw 3 hard punches and a kick right now out of the gate. I'll bet you anything that's what we see. It's up to her. Yeah, Khortni at least is now throwing jabs, which is, you know, it's great to get a little traffic going, but you got to get into the range to land them.
Yeah, absolutely. And both fighters got to find that distance right now to do something. A couple leg kicks now scoring.
You're also, you know, you don't want to be fighting any moment with any regret. That goes for your last move or your last round or anything. But if you look back, if Cruz wins this fight, If she does, and it's unwritten, the future is unwritten right now, but if she does, you'd be like, damn, we could have made her uncomfortable in the first round. Because look how comfortable Nikki Cruz is looking. She's now in a fight. 3 or 4 minutes ago, she was about to fight, felt uncomfortable. She's now in a fight, and she looks super comfortable.
Crowd starting to kind of get after him a little bit. Cruz goes in with her kick and maybe lightly scores.
Intensity ebbs and flows, and we don't want to yell all the time. Sometimes when you whisper, it adds something to it, right? All this is going to do is prime us for the main event, right? This little calm.
Ooh, big right hand by Nikki Cruz.
This little bit of calm, all that's going to do is elevate that main event.
Khortni still looking for her opening, and now less than 20 seconds to go. Goes for the axe kick before she's dumped.
Nikki Cruz looks like a completely different person now, doesn't she? She has a kind of a slightly mean, slightly aggressive vibe going.
A little more confidence to her as they go trade in the pocket a little bit, and Cruz has been the busier, but Khortni Kamyron comes back with an overhand right.
That was a good 30 seconds. That'll give us an idea of where this fight's going.
JR, what'd you see?
Tells you. 1, 2, 1. There we go.
Yeah, there you are.
Every coach tells you when you hear that 10-second clacker, move your hands, move your feet. Not much happened again until that 10-second clacker, and then we saw Cruz coming forward, landing the more powerful of the strikes. So I gave her the round 10-9 by virtue of the last 10 seconds.
There was a couple of smokers here from Khortni, too, that landed. Let's see. There's one. No, it's when they get, it's in this phrase right here. So the kick comes in. Watch Khortni land a couple here. Oh,
nice body kick.
Yeah, digs it. This, bink.
Then an overhand right.
Bink.
That kick, then overhand right, then a left.
Yeah, 3 by Khortni. And look at the face of Cruz. She looks a little mad. She's a completely different person than she was at the beginning, meek and quiet. This makes sense that it takes her a while. And again, you don't want to regret anything. You did what you could do in any moments. But, other people watching this fight now are going to be thinking, hey, I think we should if we fight Nikki Cruz, let's try to be aggressive in round 1.
Absolutely. And you take a look at this now, you don't know how they're judging this fight.
3 of 5 2-minute rounds.
Khortni Kamyron went downstairs to start it off.
Kamyron landed. Oh, yeah. When you skip in behind a kick like that, when you land and your body kind of absorbs that and you're stationary for a moment, the straight right comes piping down there from Kamyron.
Kamyron kind of sloughs that kick to the left.
If people are joining us late, we're 1 fight away from Dave Leduc versus Cyrus Washington.
This is the 3rd and final round for this kickboxing MMA title.
No, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it is 5 rounds.
Yeah.
5 2-minute rounds. You're correct, sir. You are correct, sir.
Khortni Kamyron locked in now. But see how she's moving laterally? Someone's got to move linear forward. You don't have to come in on a straight line, but somebody's got to make the choice to move forward.
And again, you're now in the 3rd of 5 rounds, so you want to steal around here. You want to grab around here at the end. Ooh. Nice kick upstairs by Khortni Kamyron.
Yeah, and that was the second time that Cruz skipped in to throw something. Lifted the knee and skipped in. Now, that's a threat, but if it's obvious, and obvious is not the right word.
Telegraphed?
Yeah, or it's interpreted by your opponent as not a real threat, she'll just wait and land the straight shot on you.
Kamyron again going downstairs, a little more power. Oh, and Khortni took a right hand as well.
Yeah, they traded. When Khortni throws straight punches, man, it looks good.
Nikki Cruz coming in towards the end of the round. Khortni doing a great job off the cage, off the fence. Oh, spinning hook kick just over Khortni Kamyron's head.
I'm in agreement with what she said. When Khortni throws straight punches, she looks good, and she did the best of that during that round. 10-9 for Khortni Kamyron that round by the fact that she was really focused on getting her punches and her kicks to the target.
Let's see if that's what they show us here. You see little jabs by Cruz.
Big right hand and a glancing left hand.
Yeah. And And then she comes in off that skip to the body, and then a hard dig into the thigh.
That nice light lower right leg kick.
JR had it a draw in the first, round 2 for Nikki, although round 2 was quite close. It was 30 seconds at the end of back and forth, depends what the judges saw, and round 3 for Khortni. But if I'm any of these corners, I'm like, we're winning these next 2 rounds. I don't know what's happening, but we're winning these next 2 rounds. We have 4 minutes, win them all.
You don't know where the judge's head is at.
Yep. 19 in her 7th fight.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. If you watch Nikki Cruz's pattern, you know, on the way that she bounces to the side and the way that she came in behind that knee, that'll be something she'll be working to improve, is to vary her cadence.
So you can't anticipate what her next move is.
Yeah. Imagine a drum beat. If it's the same drum beat, it's very easy to predict. But
Kamyron was going for the Superman punch, and she got caught by a straight punch going forward.
Yes, she did. But so there's the rhythmic timing, and then there's the patterning. Where are your feet going? Are they going in the same direction all the time? Is your bounce the same all the time? And Kamyron seems to be reading that just a little bit. She's ever so slightly able to predict Cruz's path. And the next level for Cruz is you start to force her to predict it, and then you give her something different. You can take advantage of her behavior based on her prediction. Basically, you tell lies.
Yeah, absolutely.
You use your movement to tell lies.
Kamyron trying to be the busier of the fighters right now. Under a minute to go in this 4th round.
This last minute or 2 minutes and 43 seconds of fighting, if it goes that way, it's going to be intense because they both came here to win a title, and it's still available to both of them.
Kamyron had some luck down low.
Oh, it's a tough check.
Cruz goes downstairs, and a big overhand right scores for Cruz.
Cruz also, like, there are sometimes a good young fighter, you'll hear the corner and then they'll just express it like a video game, and that's what Cruz did. They're like, fake this to the inside step, and she did exactly that, and it worked. And that's really good, cool, smart cornering and relation between fighter and coach.
4th round almost over here. Another big right hand at the end of the round. Will that be enough? There was 2 big right hands by Nikki Cruz in that round, JR.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. More even exchanges, but there was 3 punches that stood out. All 3 of those punches were thrown by Cruz, and the fact that they snapped back the head of Kamyron. So I give that round to Miss Cruz, 10-9.
Which would have you having her 2, Khortni 1, and a draw for 1.
In the opening round, yeah.
Which would mean, if that were accurate, and it very well could be, although it's based on what they see. Look when she fires now. Her personality has changed so dramatically.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see. I don't know if our audience is seeing this super cool replay that we're seeing, but it was like we were traveling back in time at high speed. It's all part of it.
Well, and this is where you got to lay it out on the line. You got that's cliche, but this fight is up for grabs. So whoever can come out and be aggressive, that's going to be the last round that's on the judge's mind.
Yeah, we said this earlier. Maybe it was me and JR. I just love that concept. It's like, listen, this is the last 2 minutes of your life. And when you think of it that way, you know, what would you like to do in the last 2 minutes of your life when it all counts? Who are you right now? And that's a beautiful idea.
Kamyron looking for an opening, gets a lower leg kick.
This fight did definitely heat up and has become very, very interesting. But no matter what, it's still given us a little breathing space before this insane high intensity of Leduc versus Washington 2.
And Leduc versus Washington 2 will be after this. Oh, big right hand by Cruz.
And a left jab on the exit by Khortni Kamyron. That was a sweet, sweet punch. That jab on the exit is not something that comes easy to a fighter.
Yeah, especially after you get tagged.
Ooh, she's getting tagged.
Cruz coming in and landing a couple of right lefts.
She's fluid and smooth and relaxed. Cruz is a good young fighter, man. They both are. But it's 19. That's just absurd to me that she's already so good and so experienced.
Under 50 seconds left to go here in this 5th and final round. The Sparta Combat League kickboxing title on the line at 125 pounds.
If we were Cruz, we'd feel like we're winning a lot of these moments, but we certainly don't know if we're winning these rounds. So you want to win these last 30 seconds and hurt your opponent. There's only 30 seconds left in your life. Show us what you have.
Cruz staying out of the way. Spinning hook kick and then coming in with an overhand right.
Yeah, the spin heats up that zone, and then you pierce through with the punches.
Last few seconds of this round, and both women exchanging heavy blows. Cruz going to the body, and then a right-left combination hits it again. 3 or 4.
I know we're going to go to JR, but I think Cruz was in. If it came down to 30 seconds, she won. But it doesn't come down to 30 seconds.
No, I kind of agree with you there. There was the mid-round flurry by Cruz that I had pulling her ahead, and then she did put it together there for the last 30 seconds, so I have that giving her the round. Then we had what I had as the draw early on, so I have it 48-47 for Cruz.
Spinning hook kick and then piercing through with the punches as you've heated up that range. And then here, down to the wire. And look at the intensity and the intention in her eye.
Getting set, big right hand there,
Ooh.
Connects, and then Cruz comes right back.
Cruz just commits to it here. This isn't one-way traffic. There's punches coming at your face. To push through the fire like this, that desire to win is there. That ended up being a real cool fight. That first, sometimes people want action every minute of every fight, but those first 2 minutes allowed them to create the scenario that we saw down to the wire.
One of the best punches of the fight coming in that last flurry
If anyone
for
has
Cruz.
found a black Nike fanny pack, please bring it to the front desk. Thank you.
It'll be interesting to hear the scoring. Big Mo's got the scorecards now. And now we get set for the big one.
Oh, man.
Cyrus Washington and Dave LeDuc.
Over 1,000 years of history from Burma and Myanmar, all coming down to this moment here in Wyoming. But first, these two. They deserve this moment.
Come on, Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 full rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecard to crown a new champion. Judges 1 and 3 scored about 49-46, while our second judge scores at 50-45, declaring your winner by unanimous decision and the new Sparta Sports and Entertainment Women's Lightweight Kickboxing Champion, Nikki Cruz.
Yeah, little doubt, boy, baby-faced, huh? The baby-faced assassin.
No kidding. You just saw that little, as he's about to say it, you see her like just go, please, please, please. It's so cool to see someone so young accomplish that. And to do that with everybody looking, and as it gets hotter and more dangerous and more intense, she thrived more. And look at her.
Ladies and gentlemen, here with your new 125-pound kickboxing champion, Nikki Cruz. Nikki, a lot of hard work has gone into this fight. How are you feeling after finally taking home that title?
It feels great. We've had a great fight camp, and there's just so many people that I can thank. I mean, look at these amazing people in my corner right now. All my family back at home in South Lake Tahoe, Escobar Training Grounds. Just the whole support and community is just awesome.
Nikki, the fight started out a little slow-paced, and when you found your groove, you really found it. Your right hand, and especially your overhand right, seemed to really land well in those last few rounds. What were you seeing that let you let that go like you were?
This was kind of our plan from the whole beginning because it's a long fight. It's 5 rounds, and everything. So, slower pace at the beginning, get to know my fighter, my opponent, and then start firing.
Well, Nikki, congratulations on behalf of Sparta Sports and Entertainment. Welcome to the title-holding club.